Are you fasting but not seeing the results that you thought you would be able to see? Maybe you're stuck, tired, or even gaining weight and wondering, what am I doing wrong? Today, I'm breaking down the 5 biggest mistakes that I see women make in fasting, mistakes that I made myself. So we're going to talk about them and how to fix them. My name is Joy, and I am a health and fasting coach and a woman in midlife. I help women over 40 to lose fat, to balance their hormones, and to have more energy in this stage in life. One of the most important stages, I believe, probably because I'm in it. That's what I do. And I do this by staying rooted in faith and with simplicity. So let's dive in. Number 1, the first biggest mistake that I see women make is not eating enough in their eating window. Okay, this looks like skipping meals, thinking that if you eat less, that's better for the whole fasting scenario, to eat less in your eating window. Or they binge and they eat the wrong foods and too much of it. They pick things that are quick instead of what's nourishing for their bodies. And when you do this, when you don't eat enough, what it does is it slows your metabolism. So you're working against yourself. It also increases your cortisol. Our cortisol naturally goes up when we fast. But if you're not eating enough in your eating window, then your body is doubly stressed and the cortisol is going way too high. It's staying chronically high. And if your cortisol is high, you will feel anxious, you will have cravings, and you will not be able to lose fat. And with those increased cravings, high anxiety, high cortisol, that usually leads to down the road, later on, you're gonna binge eat. And then you just really sabotaged what you were trying to do in the first place. So the solution, what you should focus on is eating nourishing, protein-rich, whole foods. You have to remember that fasting doesn't equal starving. It's not starving. Your body needs nourishment, and you need to pay attention to make sure that you do this well in your eating window. Think of eating as honoring your body's design so that you can heal and you can thrive. Okay, and mistake number 2, I've talked about this before, is drinking the wrong things in your fasting window. You can drink when you're in your fasting hours. When you're going without food, you can drink, but you want to make sure that it's something that maintains the integrity, the cleanness of your fast. And that means having stuff like water, black coffee, or herbal tea. You don't want anything that may spike your insulin and break your fast. And you'll want to make sure that you're not putting anything in your coffee and your tea. No creamers, no lemon in your water, nothing like that, because any flavors or any sweetness at all will confuse your metabolism. It will think that you are getting ready to eat and start up digestion, which will stop fat burning and healing and all those things that we are looking for in the fast. So absolutely nothing else within your fasting hours, just black coffee, water, and tea. Oh, and also unflavored electrolytes, creamer, lemon, sweetener. If it has a flavor or it has sweetness, it is breaking your fast. So let's keep it clean. Let's keep our coffee black, our water clear, and our tea just herbal. Okay, mistake number 3 is not replenishing your electrolytes. Now, when I first started fasting, nobody told me I needed electrolytes. And so I was working up and doing longer fasts, and I would feel tired. My energy would go down a little bit. I'd have a headache. I'd wake up in the night every night with cramps in my legs. I did not know that I was missing or not having electrolytes the way I should. Those minerals, when we fast, those minerals, magnesium, potassium, and sodium, are depleted. So you need to replenish those during your fasting hours. So you find a good, clean electrolyte that's unflavored. I like personally, and I have links right down below, is LMNT electrolytes. It's a raw flavor, so there's no flavors at all. They're salty. I like that. So there's those. And then also Redmond Real Light. They have unflavored electrolytes that I add into my water cup every morning, and it helps me to feel good, focused, energized. It helps with any hunger. It helps you to feel good during your fasting hours, because you should feel good. If you feel tired, if you feel sluggish, if you feel like you have no energy, something's off. And more than likely, it is your electrolyte. So I have links below for those 2 electrolytes. Also, Redmond Real Light electrolytes on that site. They also have some great Redmond Real Salt. I don't think it's pink Himalayan, but it's Redmond Real Salt from the mines in Utah, which has rich in minerals and a great salt to add. That's the salt that I like to use all the time. Make sure that you have unflavored electrolytes. This is so, so important. They are the support system for your fast, and everybody needs them. Mistake number 4 is fasting too aggressively. Right out of the gate, going for 18, 24, 36 hours. You need to start slow. It's a muscle, fasting muscle, I like to call it, that you have to build. And you have to start out slow so that your body doesn't become too stressed. We do have some healthy stress when we fast, but you don't want to be overstressed because that will raise cortisol too much for too long, and it'll defeat the purpose of the fast. So you want to work into it. Start with a 12, then a 14, then a 16, and then move on from there. The other thing is you don't want to fast the same every single day. Now, some people will work up and do a 1 meal a day. And my suggestion for that would be vary the time of the day. Have breakfast one day, have supper the next day. Vary your fast. And for women, especially if you're cycling, you want to make sure that you aren't over fasting in certain periods, certain times of your cycle. So days 1 and 10, you can fast as much as you want, eat very low carb as much as you want. Then in other portions of your cycle, you should pull back on the fasting and up your carbs. What this is doing is helping your body, it's working with your body to regulate your hormones, the hormones that we need. As women, the progesterone, the estrogen, and the testosterone, we have all of those. Men just have testosterone. They don't have to worry. We do. We have to make sure that we are supporting those hormones. And if you're in perimenopause or menopause, it's still important to vary up your fast for the efficacy of your fast. You want to vary. You don't want to do the same thing every day, day after day. Your body, one of the things our body does is it likes to adjust to what's going on around it. It does that very good. It's a survival mechanism. But if you're fasting the same day after day, you're not putting any hormonic stress, good stress on your body, and you're not shocking it or calling it into that healing that it needs to do. So make sure that you're varying up your fast, that you're throwing in some 18 hours, you're throwing in some 24 hours, pulling back to 16 hours, maybe throwing in a 36 hours or longer. Just vary up your fast. That keeps the fasting powerful because your body is surprised or shocked into doing what it's supposed to do in the fast. And one of the things, if you're fasting too aggressively, that will actually stall your fat loss because it will slow your metabolism. It will stall fat loss. It will mess up with your hormones. So we have to be strategic. We have to be intentional. We have to be mindful of how we fast. So varying them up is an important thing to remember. Okay, and mistake number 5 is breaking your fast wrong. Breaking it with carbs and sugar. That is not a good way to break your fast. You need to be doing it with whole, nutrient-dense foods. And the best way to break your fast is with a protein like bone broth, a gentle protein like bone broth, or like adding collagen into your coffee. Those are both good ways because those help to prepare the lining of your stomach for the healing that it's going to start doing after the fast once you start nourishing it and giving it food and healthy bacteria, some maybe fermented foods, but you want to prepare that ground, so to speak. So a gentle protein. Bone broth and collagen are both good. Another thing that is really good for this is eggs. Eggs are so good for us. They are a superfood. You should be eating eggs every single day, but eggs and avocado. Avocado is a healthy fat. I like to throw some hemp seeds on top of my avocado because that gives me extra fat and protein, and it's good for you. And plus, it has some micronutrients, phytonutrients in there. So it's all good for you. And that's what you want to do when you break your fast. And one thing I want to mention here, if you break your fast wrong with carbs and sugar, junk food laying around because you think you've done so well fasting, you're going to eat whatever there is around, what that can do is cause bloat, cause trips to the bathroom, and also can trigger cravings so that you end up binging later because your body, that sugar that you're putting into it isn't nourishing or giving your body what it needs. And so you will start to crave other things and you will end up eating something that you shouldn't or binging. So making sure that you continue your healing process of the fast by eating the right things. It all works together and makes it so that this journey is more pleasant. So make sure that you are breaking your fast with good healthy fats and some nice gentle protein. And I have to mention that before you break your fast, for any fast, pause and pray. Make this a holy moment of gratitude that you were able to fast, that God has given you this tool, this ability to heal yourself, body, soul, and mind, and that you are putting it into place, that it has been revealed to you that it is a good thing to do. So make it a holy moment of gratitude. If you've been making any one of these mistakes, any 5 of these mistakes, don't worry, I made them all too. The beautiful thing about fasting is it's not about perfection. It's about progress and healing and partnering with this amazing body that God has gifted you with. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please make sure that you like it and comment below. One of the things that YouTube is doing is making sure they want to see engagement through commenting. So even if it's just to say hi, please drop a comment below, like this video so that it can get out, and YouTube will push my video out to more followers, more viewers, so that I can help more women. But also make sure that you subscribe to this video, because that helps my channel also. And I love to have more people in my community, joining my community so that we can help each other. If there's a comment below that you see that you could answer, jump in, give other people advice, because that's what I want to build here, is a community of women, like-minded women who want to help each other to thrive, to grow, to strive, and to become who they're meant to be in this time of life in midlife. You don't have to stay stuck. With a few tweaks and a whole lot of grace, fasting can become one of the most powerful tools on your whole healing journey.